Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Ditch Pig Experience. It's a beautiful day here in the Annapolis Valley, right around the freezing mark, but this sun feels great. I hope all of you enjoyed the snow wheeling video that I posted up. I know I enjoyed making it. If you haven't seen that, I will throw a link in the description and it'll be on the card in the end of the video too. Today I got a few things going on with the Ditch Pig. We ran into a couple issues last time, like I say, snow wheeling. One of the issues was this. The inside of this wiper arm is stripped out like they always do. It's a typical thing to have happen, especially when these things have to deal with branches and a lot of snow or something like that, or mud. They just can't handle it. They can't take the torque from the wiper motor, and they strip the splines out. Another issue that came up, Monday when I went to work, I hopped in this thing. The roads were still kind of crappy. I had it in four-wheel drive. Pulled down the end of the driveway. I hit first, second, third, and I heard clunk clunk. I was like, oh yeah, here we go. Something to do with the dry shaft. So I pulled over, unlocked the hubs, put it in two-wheel drive so I could make it to work. When I got to work, I took a little peek at this thing. That U-joint is toast. Not a big deal though, easy fix. I'm gonna throw one of those in today so that we got four-wheel drive that doesn't vibrate. But before I do any of that, the first thing that I'm gonna do is get rid of some of this snow.
Wow.
I've been dragging this around for a few days and it's starting to melt up. And that's a lot of extra weight for this thing to pull around. She'll do it no problem, but it uses a lot more fuel. So anyway, I'm gonna fly into shoveling that and hopefully get rid of most of it with the exception of the ice that's on the bottom that hopefully the sun will take care of that either today or tomorrow. Yeah, I wish it went that fast in real life. So many of you have heard me say before, it's always something. Well, after I get done shoveling off the box, I went to pick up my kids from school from the bus stop with the pig, and my driveway's a hill. And even though it's only got like a slight grade this way, and obviously a big hill there, and a slight grade that way, this truck won't go anywhere in two-wheel drive. It just spins the back wheels and slides whatever direction is downhill. And that's what happened today. I slid over into here and continuously spun. I tried backing up a couple times, but I couldn't get anywhere, and it just kept going closer and closer and closer to the edge. So obviously I clicked it into four-wheel drive to try and get out of there. All I heard was like a little bit of a grinding noise and nothing happened. Just the back wheels kept spinning more towards the edge of this hill. So the wiper arm and the U-joint's gonna have to wait, and I'm gonna have to try and figure out why that's not engaging. I think it's in the hub on the passenger side. But I'm just gonna give it a little test before I tear everything apart to see if it all of a sudden decides to work. So I think something in here might have been frozen. Maybe it got moisture in it. So yeah, it's still not working. We're gonna have to investigate farther. So these things are super easy to get apart. I really like these ones because there's not a whole lot of like weird ass springs or gadgetry on the inside. It's just two pieces. This outside part and the part that locks in. But yeah, you just take these 6 bolts out. This cover comes off, and then to get the rest of it out, there's a couple snap rings. Well, she's not looking real good inside. There's lots of rusty water coming out of it. So I grabbed the snap ring pliers. We're gonna pop this thing apart. There's the first one off the axle, The other one, typically I just find the end of it. Right there. It's got like a little lip on it that you can grab a hold of. You just pry that down. Ta-da! To get that out, just thread some bolts in the holes, pop her out. So there's a lot of rusty water in there. I'm gonna guess it's because of the bearings. So if that's the case, that's not good. The bearings are toast. There's still grease in there, but there's also water. I'm gonna make a guess that the water didn't get into the bearings. I think it was just the locking hub that made all this rust. Well, one of the fingers for the locking hubs broke off. That kind of sucks, but I think it'll still work irregardless. Tell you what, this thing doesn't want to turn too easy. I think we'll take these things inside, tear them apart, get the snap rings off of them, and clean them up really good. So to get this apart, you just pop this snap ring off right here. That takes this spring ring off. And you can pop the selector out. Oh yeah, keep in mind, there's a ball bearing inside of that, which I just realized and almost lost. Same thing with this. Snap ring right there, and then it all comes apart. That's what I love about these hubs. They're just so easy to work on. Inside here, there's also like this little spring ring thing. Just pop that out. Whoops, that's not supposed to happen.
She gone.
Yep, so that's what the deal is. The hub's broken. So when that comes out, that's supposed to all come out in one piece. So there's the problem. This broke. Yeah, there's just pieces of that in here everywhere. It's all crunchy. But you know what? I did pretty good with those hubs. Those have been in there since like 2009 or something like that. For the amount of abuse and neglect that these things have received in their lifetime, I'd say they more than paid for themselves. I don't even know if you can buy these ones anymore. I know they're virtually identical to mile marker. I haven't seen the Terralo ones anymore, but I think you can still get the mile marker ones. I'm not sure. So as you know, when we left off there in the other video the other day, a few days ago, broken hub. One of the internal gears of that was in like 4 pieces or something like that. I just took an Amazon bag, shoved it over that to seal her up for now. And I ordered some hubs off of Amazon for it. Basically, the ones that I had before were called Terralo. I couldn't find those exact hubs. But like I was saying in the video already, mile marker hubs are pretty much the identical thing. And I searched those out and I found a set, 35 spline. So these hubs showed up yesterday. And basically they're the exact same thing as this, except the name on them's different. Same hub, basically same internals. Yeah, they're identical. And this hub, like I said, we lost one of the tabs off of this spring for engaging the hubs. There's nothing left of this gear, just pieces. So I picked up this fresh set. We'll get them installed. We can keep this hub for parts if there's anything that we can use out of this. Plus the other hub's still in the truck. That one works fine. I'll keep that in the cab. If I'm ever out wheeling and wreck a hub, just pop that in. And that's the beauty of these hubs. Other ones, you've got all these components that come apart in order to put them back together. These ones here, you slide that in, put your circlip on the inside of the hub, put your circlip on the axle, and bolt these in. That's it. And you got a working hub. I'd also like to make a shout out to my friend Justin, who offered to loan me some hubs until I got hubs in. Obviously, Amazon had them here in no time. Something I will mention, the hubs that Justin have are Yukon hubs. And when they showed up, there's 2 hubs in a box. They're not too complicated. I went onto the website and there's a video on there, shows piece by piece what you got to put on first to get them all on there. The only problem with these is they mentioned right on there that these hubs can't be used in conjunction with stage 8 locking spindle nuts, which I have. Really nice upgrade. I did that years ago when I did the 35 spline hubs. and stub axles. And the issue is, I guess, clearance wise, they won't fit in there properly. I didn't even bother to try it because I knew those hubs would be here in a couple days, so I didn't mess with it. But that's something good to know from now on. Those Yukon hubs, and I'm guessing the Dynatrac ones will be the same way because they look like very similar hubs. But anyway, Justin, thank you very much for offering to let me use those. Like I said, these only took a few days to get in, so problem solved. So I'm gonna get those thrown in real quick. And once those are in there and I can lock and unlock them, then I'll pull the dry shaft out. Looks like I've got a U-joint in the pinion yoke spot and a U-joint in the cardan that are look like they're missing needle bearings. So I'll have to get at those, take care of that, and we should be good to go again. All right, something worthy of mentioning, there's a difference between these two hubs. The mile marker hubs come with a stud on the front cover that the Terralo hubs don't have. And this is to help locate this front cover when you put it on. It can only go the one way. So you just make sure it's in free and line it up. It's not hard to get it lined up if you don't have that stud, but it's just a nice feature to have. Before I install these hubs, I'm gonna take them and put them in this oil bath. They recommend that you don't put grease inside of this or in here. You can grease this part here that goes on the axle, but all the rest of it, they like to have motor oil in it, just a lightweight oil, so that it doesn't end up getting sticky and not disengaging and re-engaging. So I'm just gonna dunk those in here, let them absorb up some oil. All right, it's been a hot minute since I've been around this truck. Haven't worked on it here in probably a few weeks. I'm gonna take a look at something that came up. Stopped driving it not long after I put that hub in the side. I started it up one morning and I happened to notice the reflection of the lights. The amber in the front was staying on. So as you know, my daytime running lights are white and the signal lights are amber. And there's an issue with the ground somewheres, I would say. I've been delving into it here a little bit, and I put a ground on it and got these to go back to white, but it also popped a fuse as soon as I hit the signal light. So right now I have no signal lights, so I haven't been driving it and it's just been sitting. So I got the dash tore apart. I just got to take a few screws out of here, and I'm hoping that the bulb that goes in here, when I go to turn left, I'm hoping that that's what the issue is. It's blown and it needs to have that connection in order to work. So I got this all apart. There's our signal light right there. The indicator that goes in the back. It was just a blown bulb. So lost connection. And that's how our signal lights are supposed to look. And when I turn off the signal light, back to daytime running lights. So that's a pretty easy fix. Just had to pop the dash apart, a few screws. I think I am gonna pop these gauges out though and see if I can't get the GPS cord for the speedometer off the back, and then I'll route this through the firewall so that I can put this sensor outside on the cowl. Not sure if it's going to make a difference, but a lot of the times when I start this thing up, it takes a bit for that to register. So if I start this up and just drive immediately, I'm losing like a mile or so if it doesn't kick in right away, which it typically doesn't, especially if it's cloudy or snowing or something like that. All right, you guys, I'm back today working on the pig. This video has been dragging on. It spans 2 actual seasons. I mean, my beard's probably longer than when I took the first clip. I've got this hub to change. Obviously, I changed the other one. It's working great. And that's all it took to give us back our ability to drive, was to have another hub in there. So today I'll install this one, and I'll give you a little quick time lapse on that just so you can see what's happening there. The other thing that I need to do to make this thing drive is to get the signal lights working again. All that's done. The dash is back together. And I did end up taking the GPS sensor off the dash and mounting it outside for the GPS speedometer. I ended up putting that right here. It's magnetic, but I am going to put some double face tape underneath of it so that it sticks a little better, just so if when I'm going through the woods, any branches that brush it, it's not going to move it around. So that ended up making a pretty dramatic difference in how long it takes for the speedometer to start working. I actually took my cell phone and put it on the stopwatch and timed it. We were looking at anywhere from 1:20 to 1:30 to get that to lock on so that the clock would show up on the speedometer and it would start reading speed and all that jazz. Once I move that to here, we're looking at 25-30 seconds and it's good to go. So basically I turn the key on, start this thing up, it idles a few seconds, and I get ready to roll. By the time the wheels are turning, the thing's reading, so it's gonna make the mileage a lot more accurate that way. But I ended up mounting it on the dash initially because I didn't think there'd be an issue. It says in the instructions you can do either or, and I wanted it inside to keep the weather off of it and to keep it from getting knocked by branches or whatever, right? Well, we're gonna give it a shot here and see how it works out. So far so good, but I haven't been wheeling since snow wheeling, so we'll find out the next time I get out in the woods. The third thing I had to do to get driving was fix this wiper arm. I just drilled and tapped it and put a screw in it. I drilled through, tapped this part, and then I also drilled like a small pilot hole the size of this bolt inside of the wiper stud there that it turns on. I didn't actually thread the hole in the wiper stud. This just drops into it and sets it so that when the wipers move, it's locked in. So I got to do the other side still. I may get to that today, I may not. We'll see what happens with the rest of the stuff I got to do. I've still got to get at this dry shaft and change either the whole U-joint or the cups on those U-joints. So that's kind of like the priority, because yes, I can use four-wheel drive if I was to get stuck, but I can't use it going down the road and I can't use it going fast because it just vibrates so bad. But an emergency situation, I can throw it in four-wheel drive and it still works. All right, fully installed. That gives us this hub just to use for a backup, which is perfectly fine. There's no issues with it. That one there is parts. As I showed you in the video, that inner ring just exploded. All right, it's a new day and we're back at it again. After the eclipse yesterday, went in and had something to eat, and I didn't really feel motivated to come back out and tear that dry shaft out. But today I'm at it and I got it out. I didn't film any of it because you guys have seen me take these things out multiple times. Nothing exciting. Here's what we're dealing with. The needle bearings in both of these cups are toast. The other issue is top side of this cardan, right in here, it started to chew the edge of this off. Got a mark there and it's got this chewed into this piece. Luckily it stopped before it got too far because I don't have another one of these. And it's $100 to buy one. So anyway, we're gonna take this out and replace this joint. I think the one in here is still good. I can't see any play in it, but I'll know more when I get it apart. Okay, so I got these all apart and get the joints out. It was a bugger getting this one out. I couldn't get the caps out for quite a while, but finally I got it. I cleaned up these ears a bit where they were roughed up. This one especially had a bad spot in it right there. Took most of it out. All this looks good. Like I was saying about this piece right here was kind of messed up. It got ground. The other side did too. I just took the grinder and cleaned those up. The little flat disc grinder, cleaned them up a bit. This all looks good. So all I got to do is jam these two U-joints in it and we should be good. This U-joint here, as far as I can tell, there's no play in it or anything. So that should be okay. This is the joint that came out of the top. You can see it just chewed that. There's the cap there, what's left of it. So I got these two Napa joints that I can put in there. They've got the grease nipple in the cross instead of the cap like these ones. I like these a lot better, but so that means if I'm gonna grease that, I'm gonna have to pull it apart to get it. I still do have a nipple on this one, but I don't think I can get at that with the joint in it and installed in the truck. we go. Back together, ready to go into the truck. She's all back in. Everything looks good. I just put the grease to her. So now I think I'll take her for a test trip. Make sure that everything goes smooth and the dry shaft doesn't fall out of it. Something else I'll mention that I noticed today before I went and picked the kids up. The exhaust on this thing is welded on with a MIG welder. This is all stainless pipe. It's been on there since 2010, but it's starting to crack where the MIG weld was. I gotta weld up my cross member here too. That's split right there. But anyway, along here, this is like slid over this 2.5 inch. It's starting to let go. This side here let go, so this muffler was just flopping. I bought these nice stainless clamps. You may have recognized these from a video like a year or so ago when I said I was gonna change up this exhaust system. I just buttoned that over the top of it for now to hold that exhaust into place. Not sure what I'm gonna do. This H-pipe and all that might go. And I've also mentioned that in another video about the traction bar. I need this out of the way for that so I can run a cross member in. So I'll probably end up shorting this exhaust. I'll use those clamps. Those will be a quick connect so I can change mufflers. I do want to run another set of mufflers or perhaps no mufflers at all if I'm off-road sometime. Maybe I'll just let her blat right from straight pipes. I love the sound of that. Anyway, that's something I thought I'd mention because that may be coming up in the near future where I have to take care of that, where the welds are starting to let go. Like one of these days, this exhaust system's just gonna like fall apart into a bunch of pieces onto the road or something, so I can't have that. All right, I hear some noise and vibration under there. I'm just gonna take a quick look at it. The dry shaft seems good, so the noise is probably in the diff. Yeah, it all seems fine. But it's kind of like a growling, grinding noise, so it could be that diff finally starting to give up the ghost. We'll give her another hit and see what happens. Yeah, you can hear it and you can kind of feel it. But it still pulls good, and it's not the dry shaft, so that's what we want to fix today. And to be honest, this thing's going to need a ring and pinion. It needed one like a year ago in January, but we're going to send it. If it breaks, it breaks, right? And it seems like it's working pretty good. It pulled that hill no problem, so. Yeah, I can feel it grinding. It's got to be that front diff. Yeah, one of these days, that thing's gonna have no teeth left on that ring gear or the pinion. But until then, we'll keep sending it. And until the next video, you guys have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever turns your crank. We'll see you again. You want me to spin it?
Yeah, spin it.
You buy me tires.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, they're $1,000 a piece. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Once in a while I spin it, but not all the time.